Hi, I'm Nikki from Find Me Crafting. Over the years, I have tried so many different types and styles of fabric marking tools, and I have yet to find an absolute favorite. I feel like most of them work pretty well on one style of fabric, but not on another. And some, like these markers, dry out, feels like after just a few projects, and are completely useless. So, my favorite tends to be a Sharpie because it shows up on practically everything and it's nice and dark and I can see it. But of course, I can't erase that line. If you're making something, say a no-sew project, or somehow your line ends up outside a seam, you're gonna see it and there's no great way to remove it. So it's not perfect. It's my favorite so far, but it's not perfect. Chalk pens and marking tools, I feel like I have to use multiple times in the same spot so that I can see it. And sometimes, like this one, that goes on pretty easily, also wipes off pretty easily, which is all well and good at the end of the project, but sometimes wipes off before I'm done cutting the lines or using the marks. These are great because you can get them in different colors, but sometimes they're actually hard to erase. Once I get done, if I wanted to erase it, you've got to put in quite a bit of effort. So I'm going to try a new tool. I'm going to review FriXion pens. FriXion pens are a thermo-sensitive pen. They're a gel pen, and by thermo-sensitive, it means it erases with heat. If you're using it on a piece of paper or cardstock, you can use the little rubber stopper looking thing on the end and rub it over the top of the mark and it erases. So I've seen some sewers using these on fabric, and I thought, wow, that might actually work really well. So I'm gonna test them out. I'm gonna test them on 8 different fabrics. These are the fabrics I use the most, and I wanna see how they perform on that fabric. I'm gonna be testing them out on cotton woven fabric, fleece, flannel, felt, waterproof canvas, vinyl, pull fabric, and Minky. I believe that's all 8. I'm gonna be checking for 3 different things. I wanna know if 1, they write pretty easily on the back of various fabrics. 2, can I actually see the marks that I've made on the fabric? And 3, how easily does it erase, if at all? So come on, let's check them out and see if I've found a new favorite fabric marking tool. I'm gonna be starting with a black pen just for fun, and I'm gonna be using my no-sew cord keeper template to trace on the back of cotton woven because that's the fabric I use the most. I wanna know how it works on there. So just for fun, we'll trace around the template here. Oh, it goes on pretty easily. That's nice. Well, I can definitely see the marks, so that's awesome. And now, just for fun, I'm gonna try erasing with the eraser, even though that's really not how I would probably erase most marks, but does that erase with the eraser? Oh, it does actually. That actually does work. Son of a gun, look. It actually does erase. Okay, so this darker line here, I'm having to put in more effort for, but it does erase. I'm not sure I would erase all of it because I don't want to stretch my fabric. I don't want to erase it that way, but if I had a stray mark, I could erase it that way. I've got my little ironing pad out, and I'm just going to be using a Cricut EasyPress Mini. It's just an iron with no steam, so any iron would work to erase, but I'm just going to heat this up. Oh, look at that, it's completely, oh my gosh, it's gone. Oh, that's phenomenal. Holy cow. That didn't even take much time. Just a little bit of heat and it's gone. Oh, okay, I'm impressed. Let's try it on a different fabric. It works fantastic on cotton woven. Okay, moving on to some felt. We'll just see if this writes on the felt. I'm gonna go over it a couple times. This is a slightly darker color. I can see my line, so that's nice. It did go on pretty easily, and I would definitely be able to cut along that line. I can see it, even on this slightly darker fabric. I'm gonna set it on my heating pad and heat it up and see if it disappears. Oh, you don't really want to iron felt in general, but all I had to do is just dab it on top, and it got rid of the line, and it did not burn my fabric. So I'm calling that a win. That worked pretty awesome. Okay, I'm gonna trace on some fleece next. Let's just do one line across. Oh, I can't see that quite yet, so let's try it a couple times. I mean, this is a notoriously difficult fabric for me because it's just so darn fluffy. If I go over it a few times, it's definitely dark enough to see. So that's nice. So I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper on top of the fabric as I iron it because I don't want to burn the fleece and I want to see if I can still erase even through the parchment paper. Here goes nothing. Oh my gosh, son of a gun, it worked. I think there's a slight line from where I've kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say scratched the fabric, but where I pressed into it, but there's no actual coloring to it. And I barely touched it with the iron. So that definitely erased. I would still say it worked. I don't love the fact that it left that line on the fleece. I might have been pressing a little hard. That might be a me thing. I'm gonna try it now on the back of some waterproof canvas. I imagine the line's gonna be pretty easy to draw. Oh yeah, definitely. Very easy, very crisp line, no problems at all. Drawing it on, can see the line. I'm gonna use my parchment paper again so I don't burn this fabric. I'm just gonna lay it on top here and run it over it 2 times. Like that's it, just 2 times and see. It's gone. Oh my gosh, it's like magic. Look at that, there's no more line. And this didn't leave any mark at all, so that's a complete and total success. The back of some flannel here, writes great. Erases almost instantly, no problem there. Flannel works pretty awesome. This is a piece of vinyl, I'm gonna write on the back. Oh yeah, nice dark line, no problems there. I'm gonna use my parchment paper again so I don't burn it. And I'm really just gonna go over it like 2 times, 1 and 2. And the line's gone. Oh my gosh, I am loving this pen. This is a piece of pull fabric. It's waterproof, it's got this rubbery substance on the back. So I'm gonna trace this on the back of that. Oh wow, very sharp, very clear line. No mistaking that one. Oh, I wonder if it dried. Oh, this one just rubs right off. Okay, so not great on the back of, oh, it's now on my finger. It's not great on the back of the pull. Let's try it on the front of the pull because the back is too slippery and it doesn't adhere at all. Okay, well, the front works pretty darn well and it's not rubbing off. So that's awesome. So it works great on the front. I'm gonna use my parchment paper and heat up the front of it. And the line is magically gone. So it works perfectly on pull fabric, which is awesome. Last but not least, I'm gonna try this piece of Minky, which I really don't have high hopes for because it's almost impossible to write on this stuff with anything. It's just so darn fuzzy. It's really soft and fuzzy and awesome for projects, but it's a nightmare to try to draw on if you're drawing a template, but we'll give it a whirl. Now, I can't see much of my line. I can see where I wrote on it because I've made an impression on it. But let me see, maybe the other side is less fuzzy. We can try that. I can see my line a little bit better. It's not awesome though. But also, I'm not sure anything would be super awesome on this fabric. So let's heat it up, see if I can get rid of the line just for fun. Yep, got rid of the line, easy peasy, which is great. I think it worked perfectly on every fabric except fleece and the Minky. And fleece, it just left that little bit of an impression where I pressed on it. And this Minky is just so darn fluffy, it's impossible to use with practically anything. I think some Minkies have a flatter back. It doesn't have the fuzzy on the other side. That would probably work great. This one's just fuzzy on both sides. These definitely performed better than I even hoped they would. These are pretty much my new favorite marking pens because they worked on everything except the 2 seriously fuzzy fabrics. They come in these colors, obviously, or there are some additional colors that you can purchase. And I may be buying one of the lighter colors just to work on dark fabric. If you're fed up with your fabric marking tool like I was, you need to give these a try because I think I'm gonna be using them a whole heck of a lot in the future. Happy crafting.